great to become Prime Minister. I don't want to say that it will be the same with me in the future, but still we are really trying to find out what's happened to him. Well, last week or 2 weeks ago, they burned a very big fire while they were throwing products of factories and companies that are producing their products in the Israeli settlements. Even that he knows that 25,000 Palestinians are employed by the employers there. And to take some actions, I think that something should be behind it. And it might be, and I would say now something very, very, let's say, I would say it in that way, but I would like really to say it. I think that Salam Fayyad recently behaved as a politician that would like maybe to replace Abu Mazen in the day after he will leave, and I don't say that he will, but he was saying it more than once, and he would like maybe to get the support of the activists of the Fatah in the day after, and that's why he's not really willing to get engaged with Israelis, no matter who they are, even that he knows that if he will do so, it will help the Palestinian economy, it will help the Palestinian people, and still is not willing to do it with many, many excuses. So many talked to us during the last year and told us that they will bring him immediately to have a meeting with me or no matter with whom, with everyone else. And they failed, and they said then that they are still waiting to resume the political dialogue. Economic cooperation is a very, very important condition to build a platform that will enable us to resume the political negotiations as well. But like the Americans are saying, it takes two to tango. And unfortunately, they are not really willing to take the strategic decision to resume the negotiations. Or maybe they found a very nice track to get some concessions from the Israeli side without making any concession from their side. I mean that when we first came to power, the Israeli government was asked to adopt the two-state solution idea. And after the Prime Minister made his speech in Bar Ilan University, the response was very, very negative one, and they didn't take the strategic decision to resume the negotiations. Short time after, they said, we can't negotiate unless you will take a decision to freeze the settlements. And while the inner cabinet, for the first time, as a previous condition, before resuming the negotiations, took that decision, that resolution, to freeze the settlement, the outcome was once again a negative one. And they said they are not willing to resume the negotiations. Yesterday, Abu Mazen made one more request or demand. We will resume the negotiations only if you will take a decision to freeze the settlement fully in all the territory, including Jerusalem. And of course, that the negotiations will be based on the idea of the 67 borders. They never asked Prime Minister Barak or Prime Minister Sharon or Prime Minister Olmert to freeze the settlements or to take any move like this current government did before opening a dialogue. And it didn't stop then Barak to propose 97% of the territory, 3% in exchange, 3/4 among four in Jerusalem, sovereignty on the Temple Mount, and even 100,000 refugees. It didn't stop Sharon from making the disengagement from Gaza, or even Prime Minister Olmert to propose, I don't know, 97, 98, 98.5, everyone can make his own choice or his own decision about it. So what I think needs to be done these days is for the Americans to tell them, or for the Europeans, come on, you should come and find out if the Israeli government is serious in its willingness to move toward peace. If they really would like to move toward peace or just talking about peace. If they like the process as a process, or they would like the final status agreement or a peace treaty between Israel and the Palestinians. And I think we are too late. We are too late because now we are 10 months in power, more than 10 months. We are still waiting. The other side is still hesitating. We are trying really to do everything we can in order to negotiate economically. And I have some meetings from time to time with Ms. Offenberg while she is coming to Israel. Tony Blair, that is coming every 3 weeks and will come once again today, and I'll meet him during the week. But it should be different. It should be different because it will enable both sides to strengthen the relations and the cooperations. And I think that if we will do it directly, it will enable us even to move, let's say, in much easier way to achieve a political agreement. We are trying very much with the Palestinians. We are doing these days many efforts with the Jordanians. Then it looks a little bit much better. Even with the Jordanians, we have to do everything we can in order to strengthen the relations. But we would like to do it with the whole Arab world. We would like to do it with the Gulf states, with the North African countries, with Turkey, with some Mediterranean countries, and it can be done. Many projects these days are in process. We are very close to implement some of them, but we would like to do it first and foremost with the Palestinians. I can tell you that with Egypt, it helped us a lot to ease the tension. I remember that before those agreements, when I became foreign minister, Prime Minister Shalom and President Mubarak didn't even add one phone call for more than a year. We signed after it the energy agreement, Mr. Mayman, that of course helped us as well to bring or to create better relations. It helped us after it to release our prisoner, the Israeli prisoner, the Druze, Azam, that was sentenced to 15 years, and he came back home after less than 8 years. It helped us then to coordinate the disengagement between Israel and the Palestinians. They are trying very hard to help us to release Gilad Shalit. And I think the relations these days between Israel and Egypt, if I take the whole 31 years since that agreement was signed in 1979, it might be that we are in one of the best years ever. It's something that we have always not to take for granted. And we have to invest many efforts to keep it as it is and to try to enhance the relations between the two countries, as well as with Jordan, as well as with the moderate Arab world, and of course with the Palestinians. I really believe that in a short time, the Palestinians that are now under pressure of the international community to resume the negotiations would have to take their own decisions. You would like to move toward peace? Come and sit with us in the same table. We will ask for our request. You will ask for yours. Maybe you will ask us to make some concessions. We would like to ask you to make your own concessions. And of course, by that, to try to move forward. Recently, the cooperation economically works. About security, they are after the militant of the Hamas, not because of us, but of course it helps us a lot to minimize the options of the terrorists to carry out terrorist attacks against Israelis. And what we are still expecting them is to take real decision to move toward peace. If they will do so, I would like to tell you that they will find an Israeli government that is really willing to move toward peace, and what left for them to find out is if we are serious or not. They can do it only if they will try to get engaged, to come to negotiate with Israel, and the sooner the better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister Silvan Shalom. I want to thank all of our panelists, and I want to thank you all. Thank you.